What do you do when a memory care facility fails your loved one? For my family, the answer was easy. You take action fast. We immediately had to move mom out, and what happened next was a whirlwind of decisions, teamwork, and a powerful reminder that caregiving isn't just about the person being cared for. It's also about setting up a sustainable support system that works for everyone. Hi, my name is Monica Primo, and I'm a retirement life coach. Like many of you, I'm dealing with the realities of aging parents. And when my mom's memory care facility stopped meeting her needs, the situation became urgent, emotional, and a little overwhelming. So we had to act fast. And here's what happened. When my sister Martha, who was the boots on the ground and the one taking care of mom back and forth to the facility, started to notice the neglect, she notified the facility, and then it got worse. Finally, it got to the point where she couldn't take it anymore. And she said, I am not taking mom back there. So our situation was now urgent and important. So we called a family meeting, and I have 5 siblings in 4 different states, and we had to come together on how to support mom, how to support Martha, and do what we could from where we are. I'm grateful to say that my siblings are all on the same page, and with 2 parents in 2 different cities, both needing care, I'm grateful that we are all able to come together and spread the wealth, spread the decision making, spread the responsibilities so that no single person is completely overwhelmed. And it still is overwhelming, even with 6 people in the mix. But here's what happened. Once we found out what happened and all agreed that this was the right decision for mom and that Martha and her husband Joe were willing to take her in and care for her, we knew we needed to come together for support. So within 2 weeks, we were able to schedule movers to move her out of memory care. My brother came down from Green Bay to Madison, Wisconsin, and packed her things up so the movers could take them. And they spent time with mom that afternoon to kind of keep her out of the mix. So with a parent with dementia, having her part of this mix is really hard. The next weekend, my sister Jennifer and I both flew in so that we could triage the setup of mom in the bedroom, her bathroom, set up a spare room so that if one of us is coming for respite, there's a place for us to sleep, and also to give Martha and Joe a break. They were both exhausted. They needed help. So we sent them away to a hotel for the weekend while we took care of mom and getting their house in order. We also hired professional organizers. We needed capable hands who knew what to do quickly. We were very fortunate to be able to contract with a couple of organizers on Friday and Saturday to help us get through and process not only the bedroom and bathroom and the guest room, but even more, which was amazing. My brother Jeffrey, who lived in town, was able to take mom for 5 hours on Saturday while we had the team in place and the house in disarray. Then 3 nieces and nephews were able to come over and keep mom occupied and help with some assembly of furniture Sunday morning before we flew out. The result of all of this teamwork was that we had a safe in place for mom. She was well cared for by Martha and Joe. We have a guest room set up so that when we come for respite care, there's a place for us to stay while Martha and Joe are still in their room. And more importantly, the whole family came together to make this happen. So what this reinforced for me was that in a crisis situation, it requires both teamwork and delegation. By being able to ask for specific types of help, can you take mom on Saturday? Can you arrange the movers? Can you come and put this furniture together? There were specific asks that made it easier for each person to say yes or no that they could do it. We also hired some professional help. The resources that were going into paying for mom's care at the memory care facility are now being put into getting things set up at Martha and Joe's house, and that's totally appropriate and necessary. The house wasn't set up for somebody in mom's condition, and so adjustments need to be made, and we're coordinating that effort. It's also important to know that, the caregiving is tough. Martha and Joe, kind of out of nowhere, now have 24/7 responsibility for mom. And with someone with dementia, it's extra challenging. My husband Randy and I also took in his mom when she was near her end of life. We thought it would be for 6 months. It ended up being for 4 years. So we know what that's like to be on the caregiving end and to need respite from time to time to just take care of ourselves and our own families. It was also important for us to set up a sustainable environment, both for mom and for Martha and Joe. They have one living space, and that made it tough. So we were able to create another little space for Martha and Joe to get away within the house that serves their needs and gives mom a place to be. So they've got this extra person in their house, and things had to adjust. And it was also important for us to have a guest room or a bed set up so that if somebody's coming to give respite care, they're getting good sleep, or hopefully getting some rest. Martha and Joe are able to sleep. So you're not adding the burden of having exhausted respite care and exhausted caregivers. And finally, this was a triage effort to take care of some of these immediate needs. There are other things that have to happen, and we're working together to get some in-home care, to get mom set up at an adult day center so that she can go somewhere else as for part of the day. And we're also banding together to try to provide scheduled regular respite for Martha and Joe so that they do get a break at least once a month. And all of this happened during my retirement, a time that I'm ready to go on to my next chapter. And as we all know, life is never the way that we expect it to be. Something always gets in the way. And while this is, a wrench in my schedule and in the family's dynamic, I'm also grateful to be retired and have the flexibility to be able to go for the weekend and help out and to offer additional respite care in the future because I can. And as I'm doing this work today, I'm still running my business and I'm still taking care of my needs and myself. But things shift, and that's the beauty of having this freedom and flexibility, is to do things that are aligned with what matters most to you, with your values, while not neglecting your own self-care. So if anyone is in a similar situation, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. If you've ever had to make a hard decision like this about caring for your loved ones, what was hard and what did you do? Drop that in the comments. I'd love to see that. And thank you for taking care of your family because it's important. So if you liked this episode, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and share it with somebody else who might be going through the same thing and maybe at the minimum just wants to know that they're not alone, that other people are dealing with this too. And if you're one of those people who is facing something challenging like this in your retirement and you need a helping hand on your journey, I invite you to give me a call and let's talk about it, how you can continue to have a life that is fulfilling and meaningful to you while still giving the people that you care for the love and support that they need. Go to myencorecoach.com/schedule to book a call and let's talk about it. And remember, life is full of twists and turns just like this, and whatever happens is part of your adventure through life. So embrace the adventure, do what you can, and live your best life every day.